Angel Vane, and this is episode 27 of my author's diary. Today, I'm going to admit something that I haven't told you guys. I've known for a little bit of a while, for about 2 weeks now, and that is the big sequel that I've been working on to The Accidental Hero needs some pretty major overhauls. So, I have been working in December since Nanowrimo, trying to understand, okay, exactly how do I get the plot back focused and more interesting, some areas where, and really what happened is that when you're writing a story, you need to make sure that you're presenting enough obstacles for your protagonists, for your main characters, for them to go through before they solve or before they overcome whatever that challenge is. And if along the way, everything just keeps falling in place for them, and it's just like, oh, it's a challenge, but it's not really a challenge, then the story kind of loses steam. And so that's really what was happening in that first draft of the story that I wrote. I was basically constructing some good obstacles, but the obstacles just kind of like fell apart where it didn't really push or challenge my main characters. It didn't really, like, you didn't believe that they're not going to get out of this, or they actually failed trying to overcome this challenge. So like, you want some of that stuff happening in the middle of the story before they actually get to the end and have the big moment of overcoming the challenge. I have to work on fixing that. It's really interesting how you can go back through your story and reconstruct things where you're not throwing away everything that you wrote, but you're actually making the story so much better. You guys know I love revisions. That is my favorite part of writing. And so I'm kind of in my zone, in my wheelhouse right now, as I'm reconstructing the scenes to make it all work. The end of the book nailed it, right? So I know exactly, and I'm really happy with the last kind of third of the novel. So it really is just taking the elements that need to be incorporated and fixing the first 2/3 so that it still connects to the last third of the novel. That's what I've been working on. I feel pretty confident that I'll be able to get through all my revisions by the end of December. But it did put a wrinkle in the plans of what I thought I would be writing on. As you guys know, for NaNoWriMo, I actually took a deviation and start trying to write a sweet small town holiday romance. And I really like it. I like my characters. But now I'm at this crossroads because having to do these rewrites, that's gonna take a lot more time than what I was anticipating. So now I'm in a conundrum. What do I do? Because I thought I would be like, okay, well, I'm just gonna start working on this holiday sweet romance. But really, there's a lot of stories still left to be told for the Accidental Hero series. And I don't want to necessarily stretch myself too thin. What am I going to write on in 2020? I have something that's brand new that has never been introduced to the world, and I have something that has already been introduced to the world, and it's getting really good feedback from readers who read it. And I know that there's 3 more books in that story before the whole story wraps up. The question is, do I try to write both at the same time? So I debate, right? Ultimately, you know, I have to assess quite a few things. First, I'm a part-time author. I got a day job. And my day job is a true day job, right? So I'm not one of those where, oh, my day job is so easy that I get a chance to write in between and I can carve out all this time to write during the day even though I'm at my day job. Yeah, that don't happen. My time is limited, and I really want to make sure that I'm maximizing my time and focusing on the right novels at the right time so that I'm releasing things into the world that's my best, but also taking into consideration the time constraints that I do have. The second thing is, I don't want to become one of those authors that starts a bunch of series, starts a bunch of different types of books, but never gives the readers the full series, right? So if I try to do both the Accidental Hero series and the Holiday Sweet Romance at the same time, will I then stumble upon, oh, now I want to try this, and now I want to try that, and then all of a sudden I have all of these book ones out there and no completion of the series? Like, I really don't want to do that. I'd rather give you a complete series, let you see Julian and Mina's story from start to finish and be able to wrap that up and then go on to something else. But then again, I'm like, well, but what if that something else helps me to write better both stories, right? So that's kind of the conundrum that I'm dealing with right now. But then the other thing I think about is I read romantic suspense. I love romantic suspense. I love those types of movies. I love those types of TV shows. And so it's really a natural fit for me. What I'm finding with the sweet small town holiday romance is that I kind of feel like I need to do a little bit more research into that genre, and that I'm not necessarily ready to plunge right in and put my work out there because I don't know that it's really fitting what people expect for those types of books. To try to rush that process and put things out before maybe I'm ready, before I've done enough due diligence to make sure that I've really captured what makes that genre so appealing to people, it could be doing a disservice to me and a disservice to the readers. Because the last thing I want to do is put out something I think is super good and people read it like, it's not sweet small town romance. What she thinks she's doing here, right? So I kind of start to think that, okay, you need a little bit more time reading more in the genre, watching more shows in the genre to make sure that my story and my unique spin on sweet small town holiday romance still fits enough of the fairway of what people love about that particular genre. And I don't really believe that I'm there yet. And in the end, you know, I'm the type of person who's like, I want to do it all. But I don't have time to do it all. So in conclusion, I think you know where this is going. I have actually decided to put the small town sweet holiday romance to the side, and I'm actually going to tell Julian and Mina's story all the way to the end, which means 3 more books being produced in that series. So I have one that is, I thought was closer to be done than what it really is, book 2. That I'm working through the revisions on right now, and then there's 2 more books that I want to produce, and that would wrap up that whole series. The other thing is I'm going to take a lot of the learnings that I gathered from doing Nanowrimo and how I structured my writing on different days. I'm going to start applying to these books I'm trying to crank through. With Nanowrimo, I had a very structured writing schedule. It wasn't just do as much as you can every day, write as much as you can. But it really was very structured in, you write 1 scene a day, and then I had to keep in mind other stuff that I had going on. And because I kind of had that plotted out, it really helped me to accomplish that goal. And so I'm going to try to take those things that I learned from doing Nanowrimo and apply that every month as I'm trying to crank through the remaining revisions of book 2 of The Accidental Hero, and then starting up book 3 and book 4. So hopefully when I get to December 2020, I'm very hopeful that I will be able to say either the series is completed, like I actually finished all of the books in the series and there are 4 books out there for you guys to read, or that I'm really close to finishing up that series and about to start moving on to whatever is next. So through all of this stuff, I've learned that sometimes you really have to stop and make a tough decision, and it's okay. And you kind of factor in the pros and cons and analyze everything, and then be okay with the decision that you make, because I just don't have time to do it all. I literally don't have time to do it all, and I have to make a cut somewhere. And this is the tough decision that I'm making, that as much as I so enjoyed writing the sweet small town holiday romance, I gotta put it on the back burner for now and focus on the story that I already have out in the world that readers are reading and want to read more about. That's where I need to put my focus. So if you want to keep up with me and all the ups and downs that I go through as I write and publish new books, click the subscribe button and then click that little silver bell so that you won't miss when I'm doing a video, and I will see you next time.